we move on to react to some of the top soccer headlines. And yeah, we have to start off with some of the news regarding the Mallorca fan. He gets a suspended sentence for the Vinicius racist abuse. A Mallorca fan, he used racist insults against Vinicius Jr. and also Villarreal's Chukwueze, and he was handed a 12-month suspended sentence by the Spanish court on Thursday. La Liga, Real Madrid, and Villarreal, they've all filed lawsuits against that supporter who racially insulted Vinicius during a league game. Now it's been about a year, a year and a half or so ago, and then also Chukwueze 2 weeks later. The Mallorca court sentenced him to 12 months in prison, and they also banned him from football stadiums in Spain for 3 years after finding him guilty of two offenses of, racism. Vinicius Jr. addressed this, saying the suspension of the prison sentence has been made after the defendant apologized and showed his remorse. Wait, hold on. No. This is what Real Madrid said. The suspension of the prison sentence has been made after the defendant apologized and showed his remorse, with a letter addressed to Vinicius Jr. having completed an equality and anti-discrimination program. This is the third criminal conviction in recent months for racist abuse aimed at Real Madrid players. Real Madrid, who have been involved in the trials alongside their players as private prosecution, will continue working to uphold the values of our club and eradicate any racist content from the world of football or sport. Speaking also, Javier Tebas, the La Liga president, said he supported jail sentences for those convicted of racist abuse, saying, "This sentence is one of many that may come since we have some pending at the judicial level. We are going to pursue them until the end. Those who shout or sing racist insults must be put in jail. We will accomplish that. The league and the club have worked together to obtain this conviction. We are present in all the matches and we check very carefully with the game authorities and people in charge of integrity issues. We have special cameras in the areas where we consider there is more risk of a racist chant or insult. We also must highlight the collaboration from the fans who help us identify those who shout racist remarks. It is one of the situations that has made the Vinicius case different. Before, people did not point out. Now they are doing it while saying that these people don't belong in football." I do have to say with this, I do think the education, how there was an education element, is a very important part in this as well. Education and knowledge is something that's gonna end this, not end, because let's be honest, it'll never end, but something that can make this racist epidemic, better. But we're not gonna go too much in depth on that with all the other news coming on. Sean Dyke said that the U.S. takeover, the Friedkin takeover, could bring Everton some stability. Said the new ownership can bring stability to the club because of the unsettled ground. Texas-based Friedkin Group announced on Monday that proposed takeover. Dyke, when he was speaking about it, said there's a long way to go to get everything to a final point, but the early signs look favorable. If the club has been on an unsettled ground for some time now, with varying situations and opinion on what was and what is and what should be. Certainly, it's an initial spell. Should it get over the line, I imagine it will bring the feeling of stability after an up and down period for many different reasons. Yeah, there's been huge turmoil at Everton in the upper board for a while now. You look at the football as well this season, finding themselves in 19th place with 1 point in 5 games, starting the season off with 4 losses, finally getting their first results when they drew against Leicester City. They actually, in the last 3 games, they had leads in all of them. They had a 2-goal lead against Bournemouth that they fumbled away within the last 4 or 5 minutes. In the 85th minute, they had a 2-0 lead, fumbled in 3 goals. And then they had a 2-0 lead as well against Aston Villa. Eventually went on to concede 3. And then they had a 1-0 lead here against Leicester. But they concede later on in the 77th minute or so. That gives Leicester the equalizer in that. So obviously when it comes to Everton, there's issues there, definitely. Inter Miami, they have officially qualified for the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup after they've secured themselves as a top 4 club in the MLS Supporters Shield standings. Hugo Lloris and Olivier Giroud, we know that they're now at LAFC. They have lifted the U.S. Open Cup. Winners, when winners come join the team, they win. How surprising is that? Flamingo, they're out of the Copa Libertadores. Penarol defeated them. Penarol is now in the semifinal. Penarol had a 0-0 draw at home against Flamingo, which allowed them to secure a spot. The Uruguayan club won their first leg 1-0. So now they move on to take on Botafogo, who beat Sao Paulo on penalties in the quarterfinal. So, good result from Penarol. Solskjaer, okay, this is an interesting one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is open to United return. We know that he was sacked. Despite him being sacked, he is open to a United return. Solskjaer, he has not been in management actually since he was fired by United at the start of the 2021-22 campaign. He was involved, or he was the manager for United for almost 3 years. He was hired initially as an interim manager after Mourinho was dismissed December 2018, and he went on to earn a permanent spot. They went on later. They beat PSG in that epic quarterfinal, or round of 16 actually, in that epic round of 16. And yeah, he eventually got fired. Ralf Rangnick came in on an interim basis for the rest of the season. Then Erik ten Hag is now the manager there, and now we know that he's under huge amount of pressure at United with the fact that they've only won 3 games so far this season with 8 games played. And yeah, when he was speaking in a business forum at Oslo, in his home country, Norway, he said, if the family, speaking about United of course, if the family asks, I would say yes every day of the week. It feels wrong to talk about jobs that other people have now, but I would say yes, of course. So look, when I was looking at a lot of headlines, this was one of the top headlines for me. I don't understand why, because look, I don't want to be too critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because all he did is answer a question, and he answered it truthfully. And of course, if he had an opportunity to go back to United, he would. But he's just not that good of a manager. He's not at the level of coaching a team like Manchester United. And again, I don't want to be too critical of him. He seems like a very, lovely man, and a very nice man, and a respectable man. But in terms of management, he's just not, he's not good enough for Manchester United, So yeah, there's really nothing much to add apart from that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.